Order. The rescheduled Wytheville Town Council meeting on Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 6:00 p.m. We do have a quorum. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilwoman Kathy Patterson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And so next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. So I will need a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, this will be a roll call vote, and we'll start with you, Ms. Patterson.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Next is just informational that we could have a recess around 7:00 p.m. if necessary. Next is the consent agenda, which provides the minutes of the regular meeting of January 12, 2026.
So moved.
I need a motion. Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Right here, none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? And that passes. Next is citizens period. Do we have our paper? I don't think we did. Chief, can you see if anybody signed up to speak, please?
Person signing.
Okay. You?
That's not touch screen. I don't know. I'm used to touch screen. Touch screen.
Either or. Thank you very much. All right, so we are in citizens period, and we do have some citizens that request to speak, and the first one would be Ms. Robin Fano. Please to state your name and your address.
That's Robin Fasano, 475 West Spiller Street. I just had some questions, some concerns about something that came up in the last meeting. I asked a question at the end of the meeting, but I didn't know enough about what was being talked about for me to understand. So, having gotten some records, I just have some questions. On June the 9th, Elaine, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Holton?
Correct. Holton.
Holton, okay. And drafted a special project fund. It was the first draft, June of 2025. And this is in reference to the $20,000 awarded to each council member to spend on their projects for each year, $20,000 each year. And in this draft, it states, the purpose of the fund is to provide each town council member with an equal allocation of available funds which may be used on distinct projects that benefit the community of Wytheville. All projects must benefit the town or directly serve the citizens of the town or pertain to the geographic area of the incorporated town limits. It's the first thing that I recognized in that draft, and that this would be an annual thing. Some of the questions that I sent that were forwarded from Mr. Slimp to Ms. Jones. First question was, initial council meeting was June 24th when this was discussed during a council work session. It was discussed in an open session. The $100,000 comes from the Council Development Fund. Fourth question was, what are each council member's projects that the money has been spent on or has been allotted to be spent on? Additionally, projects that may have been approved. Vice Mayor Candace Johnson, $9,150 was reimbursed for veterans banners. That would be the first question that I would have. In the minutes, Vice Mayor Johnson stated she would like to ask the council to entertain the idea of refunding the individuals who purchased veterans banners this year and last year. So my question would be, when these banners were originally purchased, were they purchased willingly by town members? Was it something that whoever purchased banners, who purchased them for the 2 years that got reimbursed?
I think they would be the people
Whoever
Family
wanted one
member
on
of the
display.
Okay, so if they wanted one on display and it was voluntary that they purchased these banners, correct? That was a voluntary act on their part to purchase a banner to be on display. Kind of like over in front of the grind, the bricks that have people's names on, that's a voluntary purchase, correct?
Yeah, no one made them purchase them.
Okay. Is there a reason why a voluntary purchase for a veteran's banner would be refunded to people who just purchased that?
I believe in honoring our veterans. Our country, they fight for our country. And I will always honor veterans. And that's my stance on it. That's my position. I will honor, there are veterans in the room right now. I will honor veterans always for serving our country.
And I will.
That's fine.
I will as well. I will honor veterans, law enforcement, first responder, all of them, any day of the week, because I've done that. I'm just curious about when someone makes a voluntary purchase for something, like the names on the wall, the names on the bricks, all of the things where people purchase things from the town, how one group would be selected to be reimbursed for their purchase when they voluntarily made the purchase of the banner. The second,
Excuse, I'm going to interrupt you just a minute. I believe the bricks are not the town's. They are the property of Elizabeth Wilson's.
okay. Well, there are other things in town that people purchase just to have like that. So that being reimbursed. And again, as far as honoring veterans, I think that is a great thing to do, but people who make a voluntary purchase to honor a veteran and to selectively take that one group and reimburse them. I'm not going to get reimbursed for having to pay $150 just to have somebody sit at a computer and change my landlord's name from his name to mine so that I could have water here in town. I had to pay $150 to do that for like a 2-minute job. That's not coming back to me. Moving on. So, Councilwoman Holly Atkins, $6,861 for a cat suite for the shelter. There's really not a lot to say about that either because it is a cat shelter. I know what cat suites are. I know they're safer, they're cleaner, more sanitary. But $9,600 allocated to paint 12 electrical boxes. that would be 12 artists. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At $800 each.
Not to pay the artist, no, ma'am. It's to get the decal to go on it. The electrical panel boxes, yes, ma'am.
Is it 12 individual artists doing the work? Or is it just $800 per?
I'm actually working on that. And what we have to do is get this approved before we could go any further, and yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question would be, going back to the purpose of the funds, I think it is a real stretch to think that almost $10,000 to decorate electrical boxes matters to the biggest majority of town members.
And it may and it may not, but I think it could be uplifting to our community. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's the spending of the money going back to 5 council members at $20,000 each. It's $100,000 a year that 5 people get to select what they're going to spend it on. I think that is an astronomical amount of money. I do understand, as of the time that I got this paperwork, that Joe Hand, Ms. Pattison, and Ms. Bayer had not spent. Mayor Taylor, Councilwoman Pattison, and Councilman Hand have not made a request to the town to allocate any funds. That's smart. Because I think individuals getting to take $100,000 of taxpayer money and spend it on decorating electrical boxes and reimbursing individuals for voluntary purchases to honor a veteran, likely in their family or someone they knew, and to give them their money back. And to have sat through the meeting that I sat through that day, those individuals make a purchase. And again, I was very clear in the last one, and I was very clear in my Facebook post. Veterans deserve a lot of recognition. Always have, always will. But you're spending you're spending $100,000 and plan to every year. And I think that is utterly ridiculous. I'd like a refund of my $150 that I didn't spend voluntarily just to have my name on a water bill. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you justify doing it. You can reconcile it however. But I'm just making a point that, in my opinion, and in the opinions of a lot of other people that I've talked to, especially after 6,000 views of a video.
Well, we appreciate you coming and sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you. Others for citizens' time? Holly Green?
Mr. Green.
I'm here, but I put my name down just in case I had to say something.
Just in case you had to.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
Well, we
I'll
appreciate
tell
it.
you what, I'll say something.
And then,
He's coming up.
okay, so just, it's your name, and
Robert Green, 190 Hugh Drive, Wytheville, Virginia.
I'm going to give you credit because I forgot to tell her that she only gets 5 minutes, but
Well,
if
I'm
you
not
go
gonna
over,
be here
that's
long.
okay.
I won't be here long. I want to say first, thank each and every one of you all, because y'all got a job that I would not want. I respect each and every one of you all. You do a good job as best as you can. You're going to have criticism all the time. And the last couple of times I've been here, I've noticed how outside influences want to stir up things. I support you all. I'll back you all. If it's something I think that I don't agree with, I will talk to you in an intelligent way. I will talk to you not only in an intelligent way, but in a godly way. But I do support you all, but I may not always agree with you. But I will talk to you in a respectable way because I was raised to respect, but to demand respect also. And another thing I want you all to understand is my father was the first African American to run for town council in 1968. So every time I walk through these doors, I'm so proud to be here, considering what we went through with him running. Death threats, threatening to burn our homes down, etc. And also, as far as veterans are concerned, this gentleman right here was with the 424th, and I was with the 343rd. Veterans deserve everything. I met a gentleman that's been here, and I won't be here long, but this has been in my heart. I met a gentleman probably about 6 months ago that moved here. He was with the Navy SEALs, and he was a part of the group. He worked with the SEALs that got Osama bin Laden. He lives right up the road here. Now he has a traumatic brain injury. He's on crutches. And the things that he has sacrificed, the chief has sacrificed, people that were in our units that's not here anymore, they deserve everything. I don't care how much money it costs or anything else, they deserve it. Because they are the persons that's why we're here now, to be able to sit here and govern and have the freedom of speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Ms. Leonard?
Well, just, I put down there I would speak if y'all needed to talk to me.
She has an item on the agenda.
We are gonna, no, that's it. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is to consider the request of Don Leonard to amend a special exception use permit approved by the Wytheville Town Council on June 9, 2025 to operate an accounting and tax office on property located at 525 North 4th Street, tax parcel number 41A-2-22-7 in an R2 residential zoning district with conditions. So we will now hear from a report from Assistant Town Manager Holton on this matter, if she has anything to add.
Thank you. In your packet, you will see a staff report beginning on page 20. Essentially, it's the same staff report that you looked at in January when we originally considered this request. Since the last meeting on January the 12th, I did talk to the Director of Engineering, who assisted us with another sketch to help you all should you decide to require something in the rear of the building in regards to parking. So that is an addition to your packet since the last meeting. On page 25 of your packet, I have some draft motions for you to consider. Also, if that should help you this evening with any motion that you would want to consider tonight. If you have any questions for me, I will do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you for going back out and working with Mr. Anderson. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, so at this point, we need a motion.
Madam Mayor, I would like to make a motion to amend the original special exceptions use permit to remove condition number 4 regarding the ADA space with paved access to the front of the building, and clarify that condition number 3 means that the rear parking area must have the sod removed and replaced with gravel or pavers in accordance with the appropriate town staff. I think that the way that I understand it, and Ms. Holton, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that 5-foot area is what needs to be gravelled, right? Am I correct?
Correct. So you're referencing on page 25 of the staff report, the first draft motion. Okay. Yes, ma'am. That site plan indicates that there's sort of a jog out in the back of the building. If you recall, there's a brick area, which that is reflected on the site plan. So it would be 21 feet past that to the rear. If you're looking at the site plan with me on page 25, you'll notice that measurement is 21 feet from that jog out area in the rear of the building to the back.
Okay.
And that would be the area that would be gravelled.
Okay.
And then it would go over 18 feet to the paved portion in the back. And then it would have a slight 5-foot area for them to turn around the vehicles so that they could face them to go back out the front.
Okay.
So the total square footage, I believe, is 650 square feet would be the amount of area where the sod could or could not be removed and the gravel would be placed.
Okay.
And Ms. Holton, Ms. Holton, that day that you and I went out there, we went out like after the meeting, and then I don't think she was, I think I went like Tuesday, and then Wednesday, you met me out there, and I appreciate that. And then the gravel or pavers, would that be acceptable besides the concrete and no grading, correct?
Correct. So, the end result of grading, just taking the sod off, not even going that deep, would be that the grass would not grow back up through the gravel. So, if that is your intent, either one would be fine. It just might be a better result to take the sod off, because then you wouldn't have to deal with the weeds that would come through. But I think from the purposes of the engineering staff, they would prefer to see some type of stone placed just to keep the soil from degrading and any wash off of the site. So I think that the condition to have the gravel in the area shown is sufficient to meet that need.
And that's the sort of discussion you and I had that day, at least no retaining wall, no really major grade work or anything. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for going out there with me that day.
You're welcome.
Ms. Leonard, do you have anything you want to say?
Sure.
Are you okay with that, or do you have any questions?
And
or?
Mr. Anderson came out and he had paint, and he painted the area. Now, after all of this snow and stuff goes down, we may have to have that done again. And the only thing I would request is maybe like a time limit. You know, I'd like to not even start on this till after April 15th.
Okay.
And then, just depending on what you consider, I'm going to have, you got to get on somebody's list who's got this skid steer thing. So I got to find somebody that has that, and I got to get on their list. When can they get to it? Then, when can the gravel be brought out? Well, it'll be stone again, and that type of thing. And sometimes that takes a while. So
Now-
if there could be some type of little, time limit on that, that would be
Now,
great.
we've not stopped you from doing business. You opened your business and everything. I just, right? Because I
Correct.
think some people are misinformed that we like either stopped you or that you aren't in business. But
No.
you are continually in
Right.
business. And how long have you started your business? It's been a while, right?
We moved in on September the 1st, well, right after Labor Day.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Does she have any kind of time limit or that she has to have this done by?
Sure. I mean, if you would like, with draft motion number 1, we can add and allow Ms. Leonard 1 year.
Okay,
That should be adequate
There'll be
time.
plenty of time, yeah.
thank you.
1
I
year.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Is 1
You
year
too.
good?
I appreciate it.
1 year good
Oh,
with you?
yeah, I
Okay.
don't need that much. I just,
And then-
I'm thinking, 4 or 5 months after
Okay.
April 15th. Just depends on who you can get, if y'all
And of course,
try
you
to
never
get
know
work
about the
done in this
weather.
town, you have to get on a list, and then they tell you, we'll be there tomorrow, and then it's 2 months later, but
And is it okay if Mr. Anderson goes back out there and remarks everything after the snow melts and everything? Okay.
yeah. And since it's like I said, I'm not even going to get started on trying to call people or anything till after April 15th. I don't have the time at this point. And so anytime, after that, before that, if he could come out and mark it again,
Understood. Yes,
and we'll
ma'am.
get the sod removed and the filler paper put down and the river rock,
Okay.
650 square feet. Thank y'all very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor, I know you went up there. Do you have anything else to
That-
share?
We're good.
So I will need a motion.
I read the motion already.
Second.
Motion and second now.
And
And
I
then
can,
you'll need an amendment for the 1 year, please. So you need a motion to amend the original motion
Okay.
to add the 1 year performance requirement
Okay.
that Ms. Holton discussed.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to amend the requirements to 1 year.
correct.
Okay.
So
thank
this
you.
would be draft motion number 1 in the packet with the 1-year stipulation.
So you need a second on the amendment, Mayor.
Second, please.
And you vote
We
on
have
the
a motion.
amendment first.
And congratulations.
Mayor, you'll need to vote on the
Vote on the-
amendment first and then the amended motion thereafter.
So I need a motion on the amendment, please.
You had your motion
motion.
in second. You just need your vote now on your amended motion.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any
Should that be a
opposed?
roll call vote?
Is it a roll call vote?
On the amended
The
motion.
next one,
So
okay.
now you're voting on the motion as amended with the 1 year requirement. And that'll be a roll call.
Okay.
Roll call vote. We'll start with Vice Mayor again.
Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
All right, so passes.
And let me rephrase that. When I meant congratulations, congratulations on starting your business when you did. Appreciate that.
All right. Next on the agenda is review and discussion of the amended Town Council Rules of Procedure. And Town Council members, this is something we've been working on at each meeting. I'm not so sure if anybody else had any other changes to this. If not, maybe, if so, we'll go ahead and mark them so that we can do that. But otherwise, if council is comfortable, we can go ahead and we can.
The only thing, Mayor Taylor, that I read and reread, and I just want to make it clear, on page 40, on F for Human Resources, I'm not for sure if I'm reading this correctly or how to read it, because you could read it both ways. I would like to be involved on job interviews if we would want to be. Like before in the past, I think we've been allowed, and I think that's been changed. So I would like, that's the only stipulation, I would like to, if we wanted to learn more about, each individual jobs. Not saying, every time, but I would like that in there to be involved in interviews and listen more of the job description and what people do throughout our community. So I'd like to add that, please.
Is council, the rest of council agreeable to adding that on there?
I am, yes.
I personally am not, but you are, okay.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted to make sure that we get it on.
Well, it's been done before over the years, and I don't know why that was thrown in. Well, I probably do know why it was thrown in there, but I think it's good to know what they're doing, so. Or know how and what they're doing, sorry. I learned a lot on the interview panel I sat on.
So is council now, if there's anything else, or we can carry it over again, or we can go ahead and vote on it now. Up to y'all.
As long as that's added.
If you want to add that, council, and do it tonight, on that paragraph, after the word human resources, after the word matters, on the second line, I would put in a comma and just put in a comma and put in except job interviews, and then another comma, and then that would accomplish what
That would make it read clean.
Okay. Well, it would allow you to do the job interviews if that's council's desire. So
Just if we wanted to see that.
after human resources matters, again, we would have comma, job interviews, and then comma.
Okay.
Comma, except job interviews, comma, except job interviews, comma. And I have written that down on this.
And that's even for non-appointed employees. I just want to make sure that's correct. Okay.
Yes,
good deal.
ma'am. It doesn't limit you to
Okay,
appointed
thank you.
employees.
Thanks.
So if that's what the change that you want and you want to address it tonight, that's what I recommend. If
Thank
not, our clerk and I can do you up a revised one for the next meeting if you don't want to do that
I
tonight.
think that's the only thing I really wanted changed. Okay, thank you.
But Paul, so now we have to take off this individually, right?
It says individually, town council members shall refrain from being involved in human resources matters, comma, except
Except
job
job
interviews.
interviews.
So that
Okay.
allows them to individually to do job
Okay.
interviews.
Okay,
Okay?
gotcha.
Okay.
And if council's not ready, then we'll go ahead, we can bring it up again. But
No,
if we're
I'm ready. That's the only thing I wanted to change. Thank you.
So,
I'd like to go
Any
ahead
motion?
and make that motion, Mayor Taylor, except add the verbiage that Mr. Kessel suggested.
so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? And none, let's make this a roll call vote. Start with Ms. Patterson.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Thank you, council members. The next on the agenda is a presentation by Assistant Town Manager Elaine Holton, the Town Wytheville Comprehensive Plan.
Thank you. Well, good evening again, and thank you for your time and allowing me to present this item. I'm excited to announce that we are beginning our work on our comprehensive plan. This is going to be a great initiative for the town. It will lay out our vision, our goals, and our objectives from now until 2040. And we look forward to working with the citizens and the town council and the planning commission and staff and everybody on this plan. In your packet, you will see a brief presentation that I put together. You will notice that the Virginia Code 15.2, Chapter 22, talks about the comprehensive plan. There are required elements from the state that must be included in the plan. There are also optional elements that we can decide whether to include or not include. You will notice in the Code of Virginia that the Planning Commission really is going to be your driver of the plan. They are enabled through the Code of Virginia to work with staff and the consultant on the plan. We do hope to check in with the town council at regular intervals, and I believe the consultant will carve out some time to meet with each of you to capture your thoughts and your goals and your vision for the town. One thing I just wanted to tell you was the previous plan was written in 2013. It was a good plan for the time it was written. A lot has changed in comprehensive planning since 2013. You will see that a lot of the comprehensive plans are more graphic, more visual, less narrative. People tend to learn by graphics now, memes, things like that. So you'll see more graphics and short pieces of narrative with more visual interest. One thing about the 2013 comprehensive plan, we didn't have a whole lot of citizen input. So with this new comprehensive plan, that is definitely something that we want to change. We actually selected the consultant because they have a strong suit in the citizen engagement part of the plan. So we are looking forward to going through those steps.
May I ask a real quick question?
Sure.
You said that they would meet with us individually. Can they come and give an update to the council as a whole? Because sometimes I think some feedback gets a little lost. Something may be stressed on this angle and then not so stressed later on. Would that be okay? Can we do that?
Absolutely. We have, we're already scheduling a joint meeting between the Planning Commission and the Town Council about halfway through the project, where they will be reporting out, they will be showing you the draft, and there'll be multiple chances for there to be a feedback loop on the things that you are seeing. I also hope to give you updates as part of the weekly updates that you receive from the town manager on where we are. And I know with the citizen engagement pieces, they will be going out into the community. So they will be going to community events, and we'll try to keep you guys apprised of where they're going to be to capture that input. I'm sure there will also be an online survey component as well. So you will probably be hearing about the comprehensive plan at least weekly. It's going to be a lot of work.
Thank
You said they would be going to community events?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay.
The consultants will go to 3, and then they will give us the tools for staff to go to additional. So we hope to go to 5 or 6 different, and we will pick those based on target audiences and amount of people at those events, with the goal trying to capture as much input as we can from the actual citizens.
Now, who's actually on this committee? Do you know who?
Yeah. So we're going to get to that at the end of the slide. Yes, ma'am. But real quick, just wanted to go over the consultant procurement process. We were really pleased because we had 11 proposals submitted. Then the selection committee chose the top 3 firms, and then we interviewed each of the firms. And I just would like to thank both Charlie and Todd from downtown Wytheville. They were great. They served on that, and they also followed up and checked the references of the top 3, and that was how we landed on the top firm. Again, this firm has they scored very high on civic input, and some of their draft plans were just phenomenal in the way that they appeared. So we have selected Kimley Horn. They are consultants, and you will get to know those folks because they will be interacting with you all regularly. Essentially, our work will take about 12 months, maybe 16 months, just depending on how fast we move. The first part of the plan will be a lot of data collection, so they will be working with staff on that. Probably phase 2 of the plan will be when we're doing most of our civic engagement, and then the last phase 3 will be putting it all together.
And we'll be fit in here somewhere, like in the middle section?
Yes, you will probably be involved in all 3 phases.
Okay, thank you.
So the community workshop in the community, I was reading here where they would, the consultant will meet with 6 stakeholders and community groups for public input.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you help me understand how will the community groups be selected and brought together to collaborate as far as everything goes? How will that work?
Okay, so we haven't gotten that far in the weeds yet, but typically with other comprehensive plans that I have worked on, one tool that is often used is what's called focus groups, where they will, like, for example, if the topic that we're working on is housing, they will pick community leaders working in housing and get those folks in the room together. If it's transportation, they will do that as well. We will have our own web page designed for the comprehensive plan, so my hope is that we can put a sentence or 2 in there asking for volunteers from the community to serve on some of these focus groups as well. Okay. So yeah, our goal is to get subject matter experts, but potentially a few other citizens that might just be passionate about the topic to sit in as well.
Okay, that's what I was looking to see, if we would actually have citizens be a part of those community groups, so that you could have input from them and get thoughts from them. So thank you. That's what I was wondering.
Absolutely. I think our goal is to have, we really want this to be the community's plan.
Okay.
So a lot of times, as you know, we sort of operate in a bubble, right? So we have our own vision and our goals, and a lot of times what we do as staff and elected officials, we guide a lot of the direction, but with the comprehensive plan, we really want to hear from the citizens. And we want them to take ownership of the plan and believe in the plan and help us when we get ready to fulfill the goals in the plan, have buy-in and support those goals and strategies that we come up with at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I think there are a lot of people out there over the years that have mentioned, something like that. So they'll be very excited to participate.
So the next 6 months, this slide just talks a little bit about some of the things that you're going to see. Again, we'll be using weekly updates to inform you of the progress. The consultant is actually going to come here, and we're going to do a tour of the town, and that will probably be our first steering committee meeting. We'll talk about the steering committee here in a minute. We are going to do branding for the comprehensive plan, so it's going to have its own tagline and its own color scheme. We will probably use the same palette of colors that the town identified as part of the wayfinding effort a few years ago. And again, that will be on all of the marketing materials, the website. It will have a consistent look and feel that will then translate into the actual document and what that looks like. We talked a little bit about civic engagement. We talked about the 6 meetings going into the community. We are going to have 2 just open workshop meetings that will be advertised and open to anybody from the public to come and learn about the plan and talk with staff and the consultant about their ideas. And then, like I said earlier, just a lot of data collection and then the drafting of the document. So the steering committee is an idea to provide a feedback loop for the consultant. This is a suggestion from staff, but if you don't like it, we don't have to go this direction, but this is what I see happening. It would be myself, downtown Wytheville staff, 1 or 2 members of the planning commission, and we have had 2 members volunteer. Keith and David from the Planning Commission would like to be on that. And then I was hoping that potentially 1 or 2 members of Town Council would also like to sit on the steering committee. Councilman Hand has indicated to me that he would like to be on that. And so if one other person wants to sit on, and if you want to let me know, that would be great. If we have more than two, we can also revolve out. So we could have two council members sit on the steering committee for the first part of the work, and then, flip that over and let two be involved towards the end. But the goal would be that the steering committee would be reviewing the content either biweekly or monthly and providing a feedback loop for the consultant. So, we like the way this looks, we like the direction this is going in, or we don't like the direction this is going in, we don't like the way this looks. That's sort of the type of input that we'll be looking from the steering committee. I anticipate about 6 hours a month will be the time that would be involved in serving on the steering committee. And it looks like we're shooting for maybe meeting about 4 p.m. on Thursdays, if that works for the committee members, because it seems like that's typically a good meeting date for people. So yeah, let me know if you like the idea and if you would like to sit on the committee. Either, again, if we get more than two, we can swap people out. But you don't need to let me know tonight, but maybe in the next 5 days or so, just so we can get that first meeting scheduled.
Now, on Thursdays, how long is the meeting, you think? A couple hours at least, or an hour?
I do not think it would be more than 2 hours.
Does it have to be at 4 p.m.?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It can be later, it can be earlier, but we will poll whoever is on the committee and find a time that works for the members that are on it. So with that being said, that's all I have. And again, we're just excited to get started on the plan, and thank you for your support, and look forward to working with you all on it.
And I like some of the names y'all suggested, too.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Just so you know, Ms. Johnson, there's a few names there on that sheet, and if you like any of those titles, let me know which one you like the best. And our goal is to try to pick out the name fairly soon.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns regarding that? That was a great presentation. Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Next on the agenda is a presentation by Town Treasurer Angela Pennington of the Town of Wytheville. December financial statement, please.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm just going to focus on the snapshot annual comparison that's in your packet. For the month of December, we're $1.4 million ahead in revenue than we were last year. We're 1.27 higher in expenditures than last year, but we are $140,000 ahead than we were last year. But we're still $740,000 in the red for this fiscal year. For meals, lodging, and sales tax, we are under for a total of $186,000, but the numbers are a little skewed because Hurricane Helene, we had all those influx of extra revenue coming in from that back in October of last year, or October 2024. So, and we still have some taxes coming in, and we still have the escrow, the big revenue from the escrow companies. We haven't gotten those yet. They wait till closer to March 5th to send those in. So we still got more money coming in. And does anybody have any questions?
Everything going good with taxes? I know you and I had talked a little bit about it the other day on the phone, so good,
Yeah.
good. Thank you all. Thank you all for your hard work, too, in that department.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We got 2 more eateries that are getting ready to open up, too.
Yes. Yeah, there's been lots of new businesses coming in.
Yep.
It's exciting. Very exciting.
Anybody have any other questions for Ms. Pennington?
Thank you, Ms. Pennington. Thank you.
And next on the agenda is to consider adoption of the fiscal year 2026-27 budget schedule. And we'll have a staff report presentation by Town Treasurer Angela Pennington.
Okay, so the proposed budget schedule, May 11th will be the first reading of the budget ordinance. May 26th will be the public hearing and the second reading, and June 8th will be the third and final reading and budget adoption.
Anybody have any questions regarding that?
I think we had talked about maybe doing some work sessions before, from like, I guess, to see what the departments, had requested. We had talked about doing that. Have we set up any kind of like work sessions? Oh, sorry. Maybe there you go. Never mind.
It's just the reading schedule.
That's just right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need consideration by town council to adopt the fiscal year 2026-27 budget schedule as presented. I'll need a motion, please. So moved. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All right, here none. I'll start with you, Ms. Patterson.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Next on the agenda is consider scheduling a work session for February 23, 2026 at 5 p.m. prior to the regular town council meeting in the council chambers of the municipal building for a staff presentation by interim town manager Christopher Slimp to discuss the town of Wytheville's fiscal year 2026-27. And do we have a staff report from Mr. Smith?
But what we're asking for, Mayor, is if we could set some time aside in the work session that day to go over, and we'll present the capital improvements request. We've started working on those for the last week and a half. We have more meetings this week with department heads, but we want to present that to you at that time in a work session and go over that for a little bit. And then we will, in response to what you asked, we are going to schedule more on operational. We haven't started into that part. We're just working on capital right now.
Okay. But it will be like, would it be every other week, sort of, probably?
We were laying out some dates today and kind of going through that to see where we would probably best be suited to meet with you and probably have some different themes in each of those when we're talking operational. But right now, we just want to get the capital laid out to you first.
I just didn't know, maybe to try to get some dates on the calendar.
Yes, we are. We are going to,
Okay.
next meeting, we'll be bringing you some of those
Okay,
dates. Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
All right, so consideration by town council to schedule a work session for February 23rd, 2026 at 5 p.m. prior to the regular town council meeting in the council chambers of the municipal building for a staff presentation and interim town manager Christopher Slim to discuss the town of Wytheville's fiscal year 2026-27 capital improvements. I need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? I hear none. We'll start with Vice Mayor.
Yes, Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
That's the next on the agenda is to consider scheduling a work session for February 23rd, 2026 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building for a presentation of the town of Wytheville's fiscal year 2024-25 audit by Robinson Farmer and Cox Association. And Ms. Slim, do you have anything to say or add to that?
Just the same thing, just with the theme of that day, we would like to take some time, set it aside, and go have our auditors go over or do an audit presentation and see if you have any questions for them. And we've been working diligently behind the scenes to really try to make that a little easier to understand. It's always written in some financial language that we have to about be a CPA to understand. So we've got a committee working behind the scenes. We're going to be meeting with them too, and we're trying to really get that boiled down and make it just easier so anybody on the street could understand it best we could. So we're kind of going in that direction, but we would like to have some time that day to bring that to council. Thank you.
All right. So consideration by town council to schedule a work session for February 23rd, 2026 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers of the municipal building for a presentation for the town Wytheville's fiscal year 2024-25 audit Robinson and Farmer and Cox Associates. Need a motion?
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? I hear none. I'll start with you, Vice Mayor.
Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
We'll move forward on that. Next is to consider a appointment of a council member to the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission to serve for his or her term on the council. And Ms. Jones, you have anything to say on that?
The only thing that I have to say is I got a phone call from the Mount Rogers PDC saying that you all were supposed to have had a member sit on that board, and they neglected to let anybody know that you all were supposed to have somebody on there. So that's why you are appointing somebody now.
So it's a once-a-year event, sometimes maybe.
You just meet
more than
one
once a-
time in April, and it's on the first Thursday of that month.
It's on
The first Thursday in April of every year. And this one does not require an alternate. And they alternate between Marion and Wytheville at the meeting center.
And they only meet the first Thursday?
First Thursday in April of every year.
And that's the only?
That's it.
And the time
That is
of
what
the
they're-
meeting is like 4 or 4:30, or you remember that?
I don't remember what the time was, but I'll find all that out. And I've got your bylaws, whoever's appointed, I've got the bylaws and all that. But that you only meet one time a year.
Yeah. Anybody here at the table have a wish to go ahead and fill that? No, I guess I could.
Okay, I was gonna say I will, but go ahead, you're fine. Go ahead, thank
I
you.
mean, I'm a little bit free on the time, I mean, as far as, but other than
I'm
that,
taking a class on Thursday evening.
okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, so.
Need a motion.
I'll need a motion, please.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? I hear none. All in favor for Mayor Taylor to take that position? Everybody say aye. As well, any opposed? Move forward with that. Next is to consider approving an amendment to the program design of the Monroe Street Housing Production Program Project, and to adopt a memorandum of understanding between the town of Wytheville and the Open Door community. And we'll have Assistant Town Manager, Ms. Holton, fill us in, please.
Great, thank you. So as you recall, the town of Wytheville is engaged in a CDBG grant to assist Open Door Community with the construction of 32 rental units on Monroe Street. The notice to bid has been issued, and so the contractor will be beginning work any day now. Out there, you'll start to see some activity. As part of the grant agreement, we do have to ratify several documents to be in accordance with that grant program. And the two documents before you tonight are two requirements of that grant program. So the first one is the program design, and we did ratify this last fall, but they came back and said that we needed to add some language in here about how Open Door would select the residents of that apartment complex. So that addition is in this draft for your consideration tonight. The second is an MOU between the town and Open Door Community about the grant project itself. So if you have any questions, I am here to answer them. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Next, council consideration by town council to approve an amendment to the Monroe Street Housing Production Program Project Program Design pertaining to how Open Door will oversee the facility and review potential clients, and the authorize interim town manager Slimp to execute the document. I'll need a motion.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any further discussion? I hear none. This will be a roll call vote, and we'll start with Vice Mayor Johnson, please.
Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
That portion. Next is consideration by the town council to adopt a memorandum of understanding between the town of Wytheville and Open Door Community outlining the responsibility of each entity and the facility requirements, and to authorize interim town manager Slimp to execute this document. And I need a motion.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? A roll call vote. Start with Ms. Patterson.
Patterson, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Next, to consider the request of the Wytheville Arts Council for a raffle permit for the 2026 calendar year. If council has any questions, Mr. Slim can answer those, but I think we're all familiar with that. So if we are, we'll need a motion.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any opposed? All right. Next on the agenda is to consider the request of the Wyth Arts Council for traffic control on Saturday, June 20, 2026 at 7 a.m. to conduct the Chautauqua Festival Parade. And Ms. Holton can answer any questions that council may have. If none, consideration of town council to approve the request of the Wytheville Arts Council to control Saturday, June 20th, 2026 at 7 a.m. to conduct the Chautauqua Festival Parade. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Next is to consider the request of Wyth Arts Council for traffic control on Saturday, June 27th, 2026 at 7 a.m. to conduct the Chautauqua Festival 5K. Excuse me. Anybody has any questions? Ms. Holton can answer them. If not, I need a motion, please.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I hear none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, that passes. Next is to consider the request of the Wytheville Arts Council for traffic control on Saturday, June 20, 2026 at 7 a.m. to conduct the Chautauqua Fun Run. Anybody has any questions? Ms. Holton can answer them. If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
You need a motion.
Yeah, I need a
So
motion.
moved.
Need a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I hear none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? All right, take a breath. Next is staff time. Interim Town Manager Christopher Slimp.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to very quickly, I want to say thank you to the staff again. They've been a big help to me back here, and a lot of work goes on even just to get this agenda out, and they do a tremendous job, and I greatly appreciate all their work. And Ms. Holton is keeping me straight, and I really appreciate her. So, secondly, I just big thank you to our Public Works Department over the last few weeks. I mean, they have been stretched to the hilt with the snow and the ice and all the work they've done. I've talked to Kevin almost every day, I believe, and they even had to struggle through a few equipment breakdowns during the snow, and they overcame all that. But they really, really did a tremendous job with the roads and sidewalks and streets and parking lots, and greatly appreciate all their work. And doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate it. So thank you, Mayor.
And we appreciate you being on their side and helping them with the problems they may have had and gotten over those humps, and we appreciate that. Anybody else have anything they want to, we'll start with council? You have some,
Yeah, I just have a couple of things.
you guys
Um,
move things around here.
I'm doing things a little different. I'm not gonna read all those, meetings. So there is a link on the town's website that you just click on quick menu, go to town council, calendar of council, and you will see the calendar. So I don't have to read all those calendar of events. But I will read the ones for this week if you want me to. The Building Code Appeals meets tomorrow at 3. Tree Committee meets at 8:30 on Thursday, and Planning Commission meets at 6 on Thursday. And then the town offices will be closed on Monday, the 16th, for President's Day. And that's all I have.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Jones?
Ms. Jones, you'll still print that out, right, with the packet?
Yes,
Sorry,
and
okay,
it
thank
is
you.
included at the end of your
Yes, ma'am,
packet.
thank you.
But for citizens, if they just want to click on, and we upload it every single month. So just click on quick menu, town council, calendar of council, and it's there.
In the One Tree Committee email thing, you all are going to ask about the agenda to be maybe amended.
Lauren already amended it.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you all for looking at that.
You're welcome.
And if not, we'll go to council time.
Yes, I would like to share a phone number. If veterans are homeless and they are looking for housing, they can obtain housing through HUD VASH program, which combines housing and choice Section 8 vouchers. And the number I would like for us to have on file in the event that we receive a call from someone who needs assistance is 877-424-3838. And then we do have the Virginia Department of Veteran Services on 335 Monroe Street. And the number there is 276-228-5211. The gentleman there, Mr. Blevins, is very kind and is, I've known him to be helpful. So that's some information I think that we should keep on file should we receive a call from any homeless veterans. And of course, they can contact the VA hospital as well.
Thank you for sharing that. Anything else?
I want to thank Public Works. They did an amazing job with the weather, with the temperatures and everything. They really worked hard trying to get streets cleared. And so I do appreciate their department and all of the hard work that they have put in. And also our police and fire department, they don't get a day off at rescue. They do not get a day off, so thank you to them as well. They have calls that they have to answer to provide service to people. So I'm grateful and thankful for those entities and their hard work.
Do you read my notes? Anyway, yeah, I can mark that one off. But anyway,
Everybody did all that.
I do appreciate them. I mean, saw them out. I know some people were like, but what I saw was excellent, and also clearing the sidewalks. I had some people reach out to me about the Main Street sidewalks, and they were in great shape and things like that. I appreciate that. If from my understanding, and I could be wrong, but did council not have funds before like this came about? From my understanding, council did have a allotted amount of money before. Can anybody help me out with that or a little information before I came along on the council?
Not that I'm aware.
I go back to the very first, when I'm not even sure when it was, but my very first council, being a council member.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have that program at that time, because I chose to put the exercise bicycle that's down at the park. I did that 1 year, and then I'm thinking the second year I did fruits and something else for the children at the pool for that season. Huh?
That was from Heal.
That was the Heal program? Okay. So that was a Heal program, but still came from me. But other than that, I'm sure it could.
Well, and I mean, I was told that when, and I was asked why that stopped when I came on to council, and I'm like, I don't know why it stopped, because, I mean, I didn't have any dealings with stopping it because I wasn't aware that we had it. And that was just brought to my attention. I don't think it's meant any harm or anything like that. The electrical boxes, I think will be nice. Suggestions like, over at Galax, maybe give some uplifting words of encouragement on somebody having a bad day. Like I said, that's in the process. But anyway, just wasn't for sure. I didn't think it had just started, but from my understanding. But I do want to ask, I did meet with Mr. Sherritt's. I had a citizen. I've had some friends over the years lose animals. And yes, I am an animal advocate, and I will stand by that. That won't change. But I did have a citizen reach out to me and thought maybe it would be good to have like a rainbow bridge, and I know that was talked about in a council member meeting time. And there has been a little bit of discussion. Mr. Sherritt reached out to me. I think Mr. Hans said he would work on that committee with me, and that's been a very little talk, and still plan to work on that. But I did meet with Mr. Sherritt last week when it was like crazy cold. And I do have a little bit of a diagram that I'd like to spend some of my money on if council approves. What it is we've got the two bridges, and I'll send this around, but we've got the two bridges here that are going to be replaced eventually, from my understanding, at Elizabeth Brown Park. And what Mr. Sherritt had came up with, and maybe some people he sat on a committee with or had some discussion, this here needs to be worked on, this little section here, the brick, and it will be repurposed. We'll be using the same brick. And then what his suggestion is take and have like concrete and have like stamps of animal prints, would be like a pet memorial walk. And then instead of doing the bridges like this picture here, instead of doing the bridges as like a rainbow bridge, we really don't want to disturb those, but have like one railing, but have two sections, and then it can always be added on if need be. But say if anybody wanted to leave their pet that passed away, their pet that passed away, they could leave their collar, dog tag. They could go down there and be like a little sanctuary for the pet. Sorry, because I just lost my dog like 2 weeks ago. But anyway, and this was not my idea. This was from a citizen that wanted to share. But anyway, it would be, the whole walk I think needs to be replaced, but the start of it, and as Public Works crew allows their time, weather, and things like that, just this little section is what I'd like to spend $2,000 of my remaining money left. And like I said, Mr. Sherritt's, I did meet with him, discuss that with him. And here's a little creek. I'm not an architect, as y'all can tell. So anyway, I'd like to see if you all would be interested in obtaining the thoughts to, I think he said it would be like $5,600, and I don't have that much funding left, but I would like $2,000 of the $20,000 that each council person gets, if you want to look at that. If you want to look. I'd like to entertain that thought, please. And then the rest, I know we've had some extremely cold weather, and it's been, I think, probably detrimental to some people that maybe aren't fortunate enough to have homes. But, and Miss Jones can check my math, but later or whatever. But I think I should have like $1,538.98. I would like to split that between Hope, because they do help feed children in the community with the Hope Packs, and split that, and then half of that go to Open Door Emergency Shelter Funds for the blistering cold days for someone to have a night, since we don't have a homeless shelter. So I'd like y'all to consider that, and then that would like zip up my 20,000. And Ms. Jones, you might want to check my math on that.
Oh, let me do some math.
But just 2,000 because, like I said, I'd like to do the remaining amount to Hope and the Open Door Emergency Shelter Fund. From my understanding, they're low on that. I think it's about $50 a night, and that's just for their, they handle that accordingly to temperatures and things like that.
Ms. Holly, I would like to get up with you at some point and really kind of see what you want to do there and stuff. I'd like to get a little bit more information.
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
I don't want you to put something there and then say, well, we need to redo this part of the park or something like that. It
well,
needs to be
yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Actually, from my understanding, that's Mr. Sherritt's. That was his thought, and then I think he's had maybe a little discussion with people down in the park. And we would use the brick that are there. They're just they're not compliant, and I think some of them are a little bit in the ground and be more handicap accessible. That was basically like his suggestion, but the sidewalk, from my understanding, needs to replace more, but we thought that section there would be best to do first because that's probably used most likely, more so than on down and around. And then I think the person has mentioned like a bridge, but I think just maybe a railing and not really disturb the bridges, even though I think from my understanding they are going to have to be replaced. Is that right, Ms. Holton?
That is correct.
Eventually, from my understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can interject, I met with Josh down there about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we looked at the sidewalk, the brick inside the park area, and it definitely needs repaired. It's got some bad problems. We've talked with Public Works about using their sidewalk people to do that. The only problem with that was a couple things. Is number one, they can't start on it till we get some warmer weather. So we would have mid-March maybe before we could start. And then we have we have a window of time before Chicago starts. So what we've asked, what I asked today of them is, could they do it? And they could if they had to dedicate all their sidewalk group to that. But they have multitudes of other places in the town that need stuff too. So, it's either we fix that and we hold off on the other. And they've got about 6 locations sidewalk-wise. He's given me a list of priorities of where they've got to do some work too. So what we've asked today, I asked Mr. Sheriff to also seek a quote from maybe an outside contractor, see what that would cost us to do that walkway down there
Well,
too. Because it does need to be done.
I did ask him in that, and he said it would be a lot.
Well,
That was my suggestion too. I thought, well, if I have enough money, I'll just go ahead and do it. But of course, apparently I don't even have enough money to do all that little section, because I think he said it was $5,600 just for that one section.
About $5,700 somewhere, if our Public Works does it.
Yeah.
So, but we, just in the interest to see where we might be to look at an outside contractor, because it is something that does need to be done. It's in rough shape. So, I agree with where you're at. If you could give us just a week or so till we can come back and see where we are with price-wise and see what we can hold off on these other areas, so we can dedicate staff if that's what you want.
I'm sorry, it was
But
$5,700 approximately.
But it will.
And it's redo. It's not like we're going to put in a new sidewalk. They're going to reuse those bricks. So
We want to reuse it, make it just a little bit wider so it's a little more ADA compliant as well. But there are some rough spots down there. If you haven't been down there in a while, it is. But the ground's got to thaw, and we need to know we've got probably at least 2 to 3 weeks of good weather to get that done. So I can talk with him some more, and then we can also bring back, see what we can get from a quote from a contractor, just to see if it's something feasible for us to be able to do. And then we can let you know for certain at your next meeting if that's okay. as far as that
Well,
goes.
I can't do any more money than 2,000.
Well, I understand.
Right.
We'll see what we could find, maybe financially, some other funds or something for that too. I mean, we can look.
So
it gives
the
us some time.
town would, regardless as to whether they do the project or not, the town is still going to have to make those repairs, am I correct?
Oh, at some point, yes, ma'am. It definitely needs to be done. There's no doubt. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And you know, we run into a window of time considering Chautauqua comes in June.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're going to need at least 2 to 3 good weeks down there to do what needs to be done. But, oh yeah, when I looked at it, and of course when I'm in the fire station, my office backs up to that, you know, so we see it all the time. But yeah, the walkway down there's, and I'm not talking on the outside part of the park. I'm talking on the inner side of the park. That's where it really needs some work. So.
And I did stress I didn't want to put any more work on Public Works than
Sure.
could, you know, that's why I did mention to him, you know, what about somebody outside? And he's like, oh, that'd be a lot of money. So,
But let us look and see what we might be able to find, and we can reappropriate if that's fair too to do that. We might see what we can do, if that's okay.
sure, I mean, are you all okay with at least my 2,000? Because I can't do any more with my other, because I mean, with my electrical boxes and then the catio.
And it looks like you'd have that's up to about 1,500 split, like you mentioned.
Yes, sir. I would have that. Yes, that's what. Yes.
And you want that split between the open door?
Hope, yes, sir, because they do the bags, you know, for the children. They do a lot more, but also I know they feed several children in the community,
Okay.
sending the little bags home. And also, I know Open Door, they may have a couple accounts, but Open Door emergency shelter funds for the other half.
Okay.
And this goes to Hope.
Well, between Hope and then Open Door, there's two. Split that between those.
And Ms. Jones, that would be emergency funds, because I think they have a couple accounts. I'm assuming they do, because
Holly, can you put that in a motion for?
probably shouldn't say assume, but yes, ma'am, Mayor Taylor, I can. I'd like to make a motion to take $2,000 of my leftover council money and spend towards revamping, refurbishing, the walkway between the two bridges. And there is some paperwork that I gave that will be on record of just the section that I can put my money towards, because I don't have enough to do all. And then also the little remembrance railing, it's just 2 sections at a time. And then Mr. Sheriff and I talked that we could always add extra if it does accumulate. Also, and then the leftover funds, the $1,538.98, I'd like split between Hope, please, and then also Open Door emergency shelter funds. I'd like to make that a motion, please. I know it's a long one, but
It's about this long.
it's about long. Yes, ma'am. And then I think I should be zeroed out, and if you all can check the figures on that, please, if you don't mind. At your convenience.
And so we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Right here, none. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Johnson, aye.
Atkins, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Patterson, aye.
Mr. Castle, can I ask a question? Since that sort of is like a project that I've sort of like trying to work on, is it okay if I vote on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just want to double check. Thank you, sir.
I don't have anything on council time. Patterson.
I'd like to extend our appreciation not only to Public Works, they've done a fantastic job, but department heads. What, we got 10 or 11 department heads? They've done an excellent job managing their employees for the last 3 weeks. You're concerned about their safety coming to this building, and you're concerned about the safety and welfare of them leaving this building, and I appreciate that. I really do. And the management team of Mr. Slimp, Ms. Holton, Ms. Jones, and Ms. Bedwell, thank you. You've made some tough decisions, tough. But it's benefited not only this group of people sitting around this table, but it's benefited employees and our citizens, and I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you.
Ditto, ditto. Okay. Anything else to come before council? I hear none, we are adjourned.